All right, thank you guys. Thank you again, parents, so much for staying with us this evening for this amazing math workshop. Please, if you're just joining us, thank you again. Please remember to drop your first and last name and your student's first and last name and grade in the chat. If possible, please remember to mute your mic when not asking questions, but please feel free to post questions in the chat as the chat will be monitored during the presentation. Our agenda this evening. The purpose of this workshop is to provide parent training and assistance with math strategies to support instruction and learning at home. So we've done our welcome and our sign in, and now we'll go to the purpose of our meeting and presentation done by our amazing math coach, Miss Worthy. So I'm going to go and share my screen, Miss Worthy, and it is all yours.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Oops. And Miss Freeman, let me know if you can see it.
We can see it.
All righty. All right, well, good evening, everyone. My name is Miss Worthy. I am the math coach at Brookview Elementary School, and tonight we're going to talk a little bit about engaging with your child at home. All right, so today we will discuss how parents can support academic growth at home, discuss math resources that you can use at home, how you can apply those resources. We're going to look at some interactive websites, and then we'll have I'll answer any questions that you may have. So we're going to start with supporting academic growth. How can parents support academic growth at home? First, by ensuring your child is fluent with their multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction facts. Ask your child higher order thinking questions. Ask your child to explain their thinking and make math concepts become real world. And we're going to take a look at each one of these components. So the first one is math resources for fluency. So some resources that you could use are flashcards. You can drill your child, and you can also play games to build math fluency. So here, when I'm talking about flashcards, I'm pretty sure most parents use flashcards whenever you have in your adolescence in elementary. That's just the basics that you could do with your child at home using flashcards. When I say drills, that may be like a little worksheet with the multiplication facts or addition facts, and just kind of time the kids that way that you know that they're fluent with the actual skill, whichever one you may be doing, whether it be multiplication, addition, subtraction, or division. So if you actually time them with a drill sheet like the one seen on the screen, you can measure whether they are fluent or not. And also playing games. Playing with playing cards, you can also look online, and I will drop some PDF files that you can use as well for games using playing cards. There are many games that you can play using playing cards to build students' fluency of their basic facts. And the reason that fluency math is so important is because our kids are struggling just because they don't know their basic facts, addition, and subtraction for the lower grades. And then once they move up to the upper grades, 3 through 5, where they really need to know their multiplication and division facts, they are struggling with more complex skills because they don't know their facts. So they can't get the complex skill because they're just struggling with their basic facts. So learning their basic fluency facts is really important. And I'm going to show you one that you could use online at A+ Math. Hopefully it'll work. Can you guys see it?
You unshare and then share again because it does just show us your PowerPoint.
It's just okay. All right, you should be able to see it now.
Yep, we are there.
All right, so this is A+ Math website, and I will drop the websites in the chat as well at the end so that you'll have access to them. So if you go to A+ Math, you can see here that they have flashcards. And so you could click on whichever one you want to work on, addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. So I'm just going to click on addition. If somebody wants to unmute, I think it's only 10 questions anyway. And just so we can practice to see how how it works. Do I have a volunteer that will unmute for me and answer these facts?
So one of the strategies is we cold call students. So when they don't have their cameras on and they don't answer, we just pick someone to call. So do we have any volunteers? I am going to cold call then. Miss Tatum.
Miss Tatum, can you unmute?
Yes.
Thank you, Miss Tatum.
Thank you. So you just give me the answer for the fact that you see on the screen.
6.
Okay. And it'll tell you if you're correct. Go ahead.
Hold on, a block is in my way. Okay. 14.
All right.
9. 6. 5. 4. 9. 9. 13.
And we'll stop right there. As you can see over here, it's grading as you go along, giving you your score. You can restart it to start back over. And also, if you see here, you have different options of whether you can make it start off easy, make it harder, and whether you want it to be multiple choice. Or you could also do, if you don't want your child to have choices and to really see what they know, you could do fill in the blank, and they could just actually put in type in their answer and submit. All right. I am going to go back to the, are there any questions about the website? All right, if there are no questions, I'm gonna go back to the PowerPoint. The next one I want to talk about is that goes along with fluency is incremental rehearsal. And this is a method of presenting unknown materials to students by pairing it with materials that they know in a ratio that provides students with the momentum to stay on task, which results in high rate of retention and success. So basically, you can take a fact that a child doesn't know and put it with facts that a child does know, and they kind of go back and forth in a way to where the child will retain and remember the ones that they don't know. So I have a short video that I'm going to share with you to show you what exactly this looks like.
Today's intervention is going to be incremental rehearsal. It is for anything that the students have to memorize. So if it's math facts, letters, letter sounds, sight words, anything with a quick recall. It can't have like a long extended answer, it has to be quick. So today we're going to be working on math facts. So this is my unknown, and you need 9 knowns for every unknown. If you're working with really, really young kids, these knowns can be things like colors, shapes, anything that they can rapidly recall and know. All right, so let's start. This is the unknown. So 2 times 11 is 22. What's 2 times 11? 22. Okay, these are the knowns. 80. Unknown. 22. Known. 80. Known. 9. 22. 80. 9. 10. 22. 80. 9. 10. 30. 22. 80. 9. 10. 30. 56. 22. 80. 9. 10. 30, 56, 32, 22, 80, 9, 10, 30, 56, 32, 60, 22, 80, 9, 10, 30, 56, 32, 60, 12, 22, 80, 9, 10, 30, 56, 32, 60, 12, 70, 22, 80, 9, 10, 30, 56, 32, 60, 12, 70, 6, 22, 80, 9, 10, 30, 56, 32, 60, 12, 70, 6. So that is the procedure. One way to organize this is you can keep a Ziploc bag that has all of your knowns with a green dot on the back and your unknowns with red dots on the back. So the one that we learned today, I'm going to put back in the bag loose, and then tomorrow when we start this again, I'm going to ask her, what is this? 22. And I'm going to make a big deal out of it. I'm going to cross out that red dot and put a green one and move it to the green pile. That's just a fun way to organize it. You can also teach this intervention to other students, because once they get the hang of the pattern, they know how to do it. So again, it is called incremental rehearsal, and it is for early reading and early math.
All right, so that is one strategy that you can use at home. And so basically you take that unknown, and as you saw how the pattern goes of adding one on and making sure that you refer back to the unknown, that is another strategy that you can use at home as well to build fluency. So the next one we want to look at is higher order thinking questions. A lot of times when we are helping our kids with their homework or other things and they may be struggling, we may not know the type of questions to ask the child to help guide them through the process instead of just telling them how to do it or showing or doing it for them. So this is, it's called HOTS, and it stands for higher order thinking skill, and these are types of questions. So it gives you different scenarios, and then there are also questions that go with those scenarios that you can ask. It may be a little hard to see, so I think I have here it is a little larger, so that you can see the questions. So let's just say, for example, you're helping your child with their homework and they're working on problem solving. So here are some questions that you could ask to help them get through the problem solving. So what do you need to know? So if they're doing a word problem, you can ask them, well, what do you need to know in this word problem to help them get through or to help them get started? Sometimes students get stuck when working on them. So you might have say, how would you describe this problem in your own words? Or tell me, what facts do you have? Or can you think of something similar that you've used in school that could help you solve this problem? So this basically just gives you different scenarios, and then it gives you the type of questions that you could ask to help your child get through whatever task they may be working on. And I will also make sure that this gets dropped in the chat so that you'll have access to it as well. All right, so the next thing we want to talk about is math concepts and how they can become real world. Making kids make connections for math is a really big thing, and will really help them, especially when it comes to problem solving, or anything else basically that deals with answering those type of questions where they may have to solve a problem or any type of question like that. If they can make a connection with something else that's in the real world, it will help them. So some things that you can do at home. Grocery store field trip. We all have to go to the grocery store. And if you take your child with you to the grocery store, you can get them to help you count the money. That's a skill that they have to know. And a lot of kids in the upper grade struggle with this sometimes because they haven't had a lot of practice with it. So if you are going to the grocery store, take your child with you. Have them to help you count the money. If you know you're gonna, if you buy something that costs a certain amount and you buy something else that it costs another amount, have them to add up those two amounts. If you give the cashier a certain amount of money and you know you have to get change back, have the child figure out how much change am I going to get back. If you're giving the cashier cash, you can have them to count the money before you give it to the cashier. Little things like that will help develop the skill of them counting money. Another way to make a connection with real world, everybody cooks, and some people use recipes when they cook. So math recipes. So I just put here, for example, if you're making sugar cookies, as you can see here, it tells you the ingredients and the amount here, and they're in fractions. So you could have them to add up the fractions. If you want to make it a little bit easier for those who are like in 4th grade, they don't add denominators that are not alike. So you could have them to add up the ingredients that has a denominator that's the same. 5th grade, they do add denominators that are different. So you could have them to add 1 1/3 plus 1/4. So there are different things that you can do with recipes, with adding and subtracting, having them to compare the fraction. Which one is more, 1/2 or 1/4? They can compare the fractions. That is a skill that they need to know. Also with measuring, a lot of people, if you with these, you will need a measuring cup so they could actually measure out the ingredients. So those are different things that you can do if you're using recipes at home for cooking. And also create math stories for real world situations. Everybody goes to restaurants. You might not be going now for COVID, due to COVID, but before you were going to restaurants, you sit down, look at the menu. The kids probably have a kids menu. They can look at that menu. They can add the items that they want to order on that menu. They could once again, if you are giving cash to the your waitress or waiter, they could tell you how much change you should give back. All of those different types of things, you can make a connection. And a lot of times they may see questions like that on a test or a worksheet, so you can have them to think back. Remember that time we went to the restaurant, and you could talk about what you did so that they can make the connection of what operation they may need to use in order to solve problems. All right, so we've talked about the higher order thinking questions. We talked about math fluency and making those connections. So the next thing we want to look at is interactive websites. We are moving to digital world with a lot of the kids being at home. So here, if you want to take a snapshot of the websites that you can use at home, and there are a couple of them, 3 of them in particular, that I really want to focus in on that I think would be beneficial for you to help your child at home. So I'll give you a second to, if you have your phone, you want to take a snapshot of the websites.
And Ms. Worthy, I also dropped in the chat, I made a PDF with these websites from your presentation, as well as the method HOTS. There's also a handout with some materials as well. I just dropped them in the chat.
Thank you, Ms. Freeman. You are great. All right, so I'm going to move on and talk about iReady Math. I'm pretty sure all parents have heard about iReady. And I basically just want to show you what the platform looks like in the student view. Give me one second. So here it is. So I just logged in as a student because my view as a administrator looks a little bit different. So I logged in as a student just so you can see what it looks like from the student's view. So if you see here, it says my path. So when the kids take their diagnostic test mid-year and at the beginning of the year, it puts them on a path. So it basically starts them where they are and put them on a path so that they are make progress to get to where they need to be. So anytime you see my path, these are the lessons that are on your child's path. So they basically click on those lessons. They can work through the lessons, and they'll have a quiz and it'll tell them what their score is as well. So you can also track this as well. Now over here it says teacher assigned. So teachers can also assign work for your child. So let's just say your child may be struggling with addition, or not to say that this child is, but let's just say they're struggling with numbers and operations, and the teacher can assign and say, well, you need a little bit extra practice with this, and they can assign a lesson. So where it says teacher assigned, these are assigned lessons by the teacher. And you probably really want to pay attention to these because teachers may or may, the teachers are tracking it, but and they may say you haven't completed such and such assignment. So if you're ever looking on your child's iReady page, definitely want to look and inquire about any teacher assigned lessons, and also making sure that they are working through their path. And the to-do, this is their to-do page. So these are the things that they need to do, whether it be their path or the teacher assigned. You can also go to their my progress. I know, let me go back. Is it gonna work? Okay, it's making me log in again. So what I would, let me go back here and log in. Okay. And if you're trying to get to iReady and you don't know how to get to iReady, your child should, but if you go to class link and have them to put in their username and passwords, which is their lunch numbers, the username, birthday, password, you can get, and then click on iReady, you can get to their page. So if you click on my progress, this is important as well because it lets you know how much time is on task. We are aiming for 50 minutes every week. 50 minutes every week. So right now this student has 18 minutes. So they are working toward their 50 minutes, but the goal is 50 minutes every week. So if you want to see how much time they've been on iReady, you can see that here. It also tells you the pass rate. So out of 20 assignments, this child has passed 19 of those assignments. I'm not going to click on completed work because it'll actually show this child's grades. But if you want to know what they're making on those quizzes that they're taking, you can click on completed work and it'll show you their scores. Are there any questions about iReady? And if you do, you can just unmute or put it in the chat. Ms. Freeman will let me know. All right. So if there are no questions, the next one that I want to look at is Khan Academy. And if you are able, you can, if Miss Freeman may have put it in the link already, if you can click on Khan Academy and look at it on your own, you can. I'm going to click on it and you can look on the screen. All right, so this is Khan Academy, and we are going to say that we're a learner. And it's making me, I'm going to log in. Okay. So now that I'm logged in, I am going to go to the resources. So in Khan Academy, there are basically it is compiled of you can go to look up any or different skills. Um, so let's just say I say place value. Okay, it's coming up. So let's just say your child is working on place value. You're trying to help them with their homework, and you are having a difficult time maybe trying to explain something to them. You can go to the search engine, put in what you want, and here it has place value. So if you look and see, they have videos, and also it tells you by the grade you can go and look. So I'm just going to click on second grade. So this is what they have for second grade place value. So you may be able to find a video. And if you click like intro to place value, here's a video.
Hello, Britt.
I picked this up at a garage sale, and I know you like colors.
I
You
love
You
colors.
wear colorful shirts every day, and I thought you might like this.
I do. This is very cool. I like, yeah. So what are you hoping to?
So I'm not going to play the whole video, but basically you can watch the video, your child can watch the video, and if with both of you watching it, you may be able to help your child or explain to your child how to complete their assignment. There are also practice that that your child can do over here. If you look on the other side, and you can just click, and it'll there are questions. So basically here it says which number is shown by the place value blocks. They can look at the place value blocks, pick their answer. I'm just gonna guess. And if it's incorrect, it's going to tell you incorrect. If it is correct, it's going to also show you that it is correct. If you get stuck, if you see right here, it says watch a video, use a hint. These are some things that you could do to help get through the quiz. So I wanted to show you this resource because I think it's great. Like I said, if you're having difficulties trying to explain the concept to your child, Khan Academy, you can go on here, watch a video, and then you can also have the child to practice to ensure that they understand the concept. Any questions about Khan Academy?
I absolutely love Khan Academy. My nieces, my twins are now fourth graders, and math reading is their strength, and math not so much. But I use those videos to help support their mother, as auntie, and getting them to just unpack some of those things. But to see the videos to explain some of those more complex math concepts, especially with upper elementary, it starts to get more complex. And just if you need to familiarize or go back for a refresher as a parent, it's a great tool for supports.
Absolutely, it is. I know when I was in the classroom, I used the videos as well to explain some concepts to the kids, and also they enjoyed doing the practice. All right, so the last website is a virtual website, Didact. And
Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt. But for that website, is it only for like third through fourth grade, or can kindergarten as well use it?
The Khan Academy?
Yes, ma'am.
All grades should be able to use it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
I even use it with my 8th grader. I have 10 nieces and nephews. And if it's a complex, like I don't remember the geometry and things that they're hitting. I have to go back and remind myself.
Right.
There are a lot of content on there. I use it often.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna type this one in to get to it. But this is a virtual manipulative website. So a lot of these manipulatives, and if you guys picked up your manipulatives at the beginning of the school year to use at home, some of these things may look familiar because they may be in the manipulative bag that your child is using. But let's just say, for instance, you don't have these manipulatives and teachers may be making reference to these manipulatives in class. This is a website that you can go to, and then it can be interactive for the child to use the manipulatives at home. So some big ones that the little ones use, the 10 frames. And it's good like if you want for counting. And most of the kids know once the frame is full that this is a representation of 10. You can use it for smaller equations, like if you want to do 4 plus 2, you can use different colors, the different colors to show the distinction between like different numbers. So the 10 frames is primarily the younger kids use this one. They also have number lines on here. And the upper and older kids can use the number line. For the older kids, they have the fraction tiles on here that they can use. So if you want to try to get your child to understand equivalent fractions or make a comparison about which one is more, which one is less, you can use the manipulatives for the fractions. They also have pattern blocks on here. Once if your child's working with patterns in class. Another big one would be the base 10 blocks. And this is also good if you are adding numbers and your child needs a visual to actually see that. They may not understand regrouping. So if you use the base 10 blocks, they can use this and actually move the manipulatives to get a better understanding of regrouping. Another one would be our numbers chart. It can be used for different things. So this has a variety of manipulatives that you can use for interaction so the child can actually see the concept of what they may be taught in the classroom. And that was the last one. Are there any questions?
I just want to let you know in the chat while you were presenting that even teachers were like, okay, this is extremely helpful. Parents utilize these resources. I commend you guys for being here and actively involved in this because you're learning strategies and resources that other parents who didn't attend won't know. And our goal is to make sure that we are giving you the tools to help your kids be successful. Kudos, Ms. Worthy. Great job. Ms. Freeman, thank you for putting this together. And Ms. Freeman, if you would remind parents about the evaluation. I see you dropped it in the chat.
Absolutely. Once again, we thank you all so much for coming and being with us tonight. If you could drop the evaluation link in the chat. This survey is, first of all, is mandatory for Title I schools, and it's to evaluate the effectiveness of this meeting. And it just asks simple questions of what type of workshop you attended, what you gained, how the presenter did. So it really helps us out as well. And it also lists where you can list questions, comments, and concerns for us because we get all of this data back. And I've also shared a QR code. Can you all see my screen? I meant to ask, I apologize.
Yes,
okay.
We can see it.
Awesome. So I've also shared a QR link. So if you have your cell phone, you can do the QR link, and I've dropped it in the chat as well. We want to thank you again so much for your time this evening, Ms. Worthy. You are a rock star. You are amazing. That was awesome. I learned something from my fourth grader. So thank you so much for your time this evening as well, because you are at home. So we thank you again. Thank you, admin team that stayed and joined. Thank you, staff that came. And thank you, parents. We have parent workshops almost every month. They are always this amazing. Please consider joining us.
And Miss Hope had a question, I believe she said, is it family math night? No, this is parent works. Let me see. I guess on the form, I'm gonna log into the form to see the question.
Oh yeah. Thank you, Mrs. Wallace, because I didn't know if it said workshop or.
Yeah, I'm doing it my survey now. So
thank you, Ms. Hope, for that question.
Let's see.